Welcome to the latest episode of SVG Sports Tech On Demand. I'm here with Nick Ashwin, Director of Business Development for North America for Imagen. Nick, thanks so much for joining us today. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, thanks for having us. I am in what is normally beautiful sunny Dallas, but it's a little bit dreary outside, honestly. So
Well, it doesn't really matter because you have to stay inside anyway.
that is true.
Right. So Imagen, you guys provide obviously a media asset management and content distribution platform that's been used by a lot of the big leagues and federations. Just kind of the 60,000 foot view. What is Imagen and who are some of your big partners and projects that you've been a part of?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think everyone's very familiar with the quote unquote media asset management world at this point, right? The tools that are used to tie into the production environment and make sure that everyone can find their assets and do what they want internally. Where we sit quite differently in that respect is that we enable the content owners, the sports leagues and organizations to actually distribute or at least provide some very secure level of access to their own partners across the world through a really intuitive interface with a lot of baked in tools. So, from things like accelerated file download through to really nice annotations and layering of metadata that help people find stuff. So it's really that conduit from sports content creator and organization through to really all of those people that actually need to use their content as well outside of the live broadcast.
Okay, cool. And you guys have some pretty big projects and clients that you've been a part of. How is that system used by a couple of the big players in the sports world?
Yeah, sure. So, two really nice examples. Probably the first one is the Premier League. We've been working with them for a long time now through our partners at IMG as well. They moved from a space where, and this is several years ago now, they signed a deal with NBC and really started to encroach on the US market. And they needed a way to service NBC, but also just their partners all over the world with content from their archive. Historically started at IMG, and it was really a matter of, if they wanted something, they had to call them up and find a way to digitize, get it over and all that kind of stuff. And it was really just too slow. So we've started working with them. We've got their entire archive online, cloud ready, and really accessible for any partner across the world. But what's really nice about it is it's actually weaved in a whole crediting system as well. So that depending on the tier of partner and negotiations, that kind of stuff, they can really track how much people are drawing down over a given month or a given week, and sort of really understand the commercial side of that kind of collaboration with their partners as well. So it's a really nice one. And then the other one, on the US side of things, we work quite hand in hand with the NBA. They've had a wonderful sort of implementation of what they call the virtual content factory over the last year or so. You guys are familiar with Chris Holton and his team over there. And we're a part of that. We're not everything. There's other vendors involved, of course. But again, we do a similar thing. We are that conduit from the sort of finished content being created in-house at the NBA, which they're doing a ton of right now, and then enabling their partners to either come in and grab stuff, ad hoc, or be updated by MRSS, or maybe pulling it down through the API. So multiple different ways of actually retrieving that content out. But again, just providing that wonderful sort of experience and interface to get it from A to B, essentially.
Right.
Rather than just a black box in the cloud.
Sure. Very cool. It adds that transparency. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So speaking of, look, we're in a very odd time right now for a variety of reasons, but one of them is that there's not a lot of live sports. So people are diving into their archives, trying to find content. Searchability and transparency is a really big deal right now. How do you see the current coronavirus pandemic and the lack of live programming potentially changing the way that people use their archives now and after this blows over long term?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. A couple of things. Anecdotally, I'm personally re-watching all of the old masters, which I'm so glad that they've put them online on YouTube in full glorious HD. I decided last week I'd start at 2012 and basically just go from there because, funnily enough, NAB really cut into me finishing up the 2012 Masters. I didn't actually get to watch it, right?
It always does, yeah, right.
So I was like, I'm going to rewatch this. And I'm, so at a personal level, I'm kind of, thinking about the stuff that I really care about and going back through that. But from a broader business level, there's lots of rights deals being up for negotiation over the next, 12 to 24 months. And though sort of archive and DR has always been a part of those conversations and something that people like to think about, it's probably never been something that's been like top of the priority list. And that business continuity side of stuff was, again, something they had to think about, but maybe not like, okay, let's make sure that this is in place. And this is probably going to raise that right to the top of that list. And, you know, truthfully, archive content has probably never had more value, right? There's no live spot. So people have to, you know, look back and see what good stuff they've got and make sure that, again, people can access it. I mean, that's kind of our thing. We've always been saying, hey, guys, you're sitting on a mountain of value here and you're not probably exposing it the way you should. You know, it's a tragedy we don't want to see play out by any means, but we're glad that at least the partners we're working with have got that opportunity to make sure that their content is being used and keep people entertained whilst sat at home. I mean, that's, you know, we're all sat on our couches looking for stuff to watch. So.
Looking for content. Yeah. Everybody's thirsty for content. Well, Nick, really appreciate you taking the time. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, same to you and the SVG crew. We're glad to be involved. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Jason. Bye-bye.
For more episodes of SVG Sports Tech On Demand, stay tuned to sportsvideo.org and our YouTube channel.